Hello again, welcome to the overview of goal number 2, effective course organization. The first criteria of goal 2 is 2.1. Course site design is easily navigated and provides a logical progression through the course content. As you begin to design your online course, you will need to carefully organize and plan your course in such a way that not only helps your learners achieve the learning objectives, but is also functional and intuitive for the users. Here are some questions to keep in mind as you design your course. How will learners move through the course materials? Can learners work through the material at their own pace, or do they need to follow a set schedule? How will you organize your course content? Units, weeks, activities, or some other way? You can compose your course in a linear manner the same way we have developed this online training course, or you can design a more open and exploratory course structure that allows learners to move freely through the content. We highly recommend structuring your course using a chronological scheme. So, a few more course design recommendations would be to utilize the My Courses course organizational tools to provide structure. Also, try to keep levels of information to a minimum. Avoid adding folders inside of other folders. Course material will be buried too deep and could possibly be missed by your learners. The next part of this goal is course site is user-friendly with titles and descriptions to assist learning in locating information. Providing threads of instruction and descriptive text on course components provides learners the guidance they need to navigate from one area of your course to the next. Remember, just as in a face-to-face class, if you pass out a chapter of a textbook, learners would need your goals, objectives, and intentions for that chapter specified to them to uphold the expectations for their learning. Without your presence and guidance throughout the course, online learners struggle to make sense of the content that has been displayed to them. So, some recommendations for fulfilling this goal. You will want to consider breaking up large amounts of text-based material into smaller chunks of information. Chunk is a key word you'll hear throughout your course design process. This term refers to the idea of breaking up information into small pieces or chunks that are more easily digested by students as they learn. Try using headings and subheadings to separate text within your menu as well as in your content areas. Also, consider making use of some simple formatting techniques like bolding, italicizing, and bulleted lists. Another good idea is to use graphics and images that are relevant to the topics being covered to break up text on a page. Too much text on a page can be overwhelming for students, and a simple graphic chart or any sort of image can help break up the page visually. Also make sure to add text descriptions for links, folders, and modules so that your learners clearly understand what they are viewing before they click and where they will navigate to next. Lastly, it's a good idea to use checklists as a way for learners to keep track of course requirements and activities per unit of instruction. 2.3 states, course site includes introduction from instructor explaining how course site works. The importance of an instructor introduction or course welcome is equally as significant as the initial greeting and debriefing that occurs on the first day of a face-to-face class between learners and instructor. When a learner gains access to a course site on the first day, they are immediately looking for the organized collection of information shown on this slide that tells them how they will start engaging with the course and its content. In the online environment, it is encouraged to include a photo or brief video of yourself along with this introductory information. Providing an image or video helps to communicate that you, the instructor, are personable and available for assistance. The course design guide that is linked on this page and many other places in this course will walk you through the preliminary information that learners look for within an initial home page or course welcome within a course. The fourth criteria of this goal states, course site maintains a consistent style and format. Designing an online course takes careful planning and consideration. Before developing your course for the online environment, we suggest that you develop a course plan. To begin this process, we would like you to step back and re-examine your course goals, objectives, and your student learner before actually moving forward with organizing and developing your course site. So, some key questions to consider as you start thinking about your course plan. What do you want your students to know when they have completed your online course? What do you want to preserve from your existing course format that runs face-to-face? What would you like to transform? What do you depend on in a classroom environment that will be challenging to replicate in an online environment? What is the most effective and efficient way to present your course in the online environment? Much the way you would create lesson plans for your face-to-face course, creating visual outlines or flowcharts can assist you as you plan your course structure and organization. And keep in mind, creating your outline, you can use very simple methods such as Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, index cards, sticky notes, some construction paper, anything you might have around that allows you to freely map something out. The final criteria of this goal is that the relationship between the instructional materials and learning activities is clearly explained to the student. In an online class, along with lectures, we define content more broadly to include links to internet sites, essays, and other external materials, and materials available through the UMass Library and My Courses. Explaining these resources to learners, much like what would be done in a face-to-face class, keeps the learner engaged and on track with an array of instructional materials in the online environment. Many forms of multimedia can be included in your My Courses site. One of the most common media files that instructors want to generate or post are lectures. With face-to-face lectures, we tend to use overheads, handouts, or a PowerPoint presentation. This type of traditional lecture translates in many different ways to the online environment, such as the video you're watching right now that is a PowerPoint with narration that I'm providing. A few examples of online lectures would be this type of video, or handouts you'd usually give out in class being posted to your course site, an online synchronous classroom session, some audio-only lectures, or even just website-based lectures that someone else has already given that you link your students out to. Translating your lectures to online isn't as easy as turning your Word document into an HTML file. We need to break that text up and present it in a way that students can digest more easily, preferably with some interactive content mixed in there to keep students on track and engaged. So, keep this in mind. Too much reading online without some sort of activity involved leads to passive learning. Vary your lectures with assignments that ask for student response and interaction. In order to stimulate active learning, you need to keep the students involved in the creation of knowledge in your classroom. The internet offers a number of places for student learning, so don't feel like you have to invent all of the information yourself. Sending students to websites not only keeps them active as they look at the computer screen, but it also shows students that information can be found in many different places, a discovery that helps us create lifelong learners. We will also be including a few links to exemplary courses at the bottom of this page. We encourage you to take a look at those. Other than that, that'll be it for this goal. See you in the next one.